What drives someone to escape? Is it a yearning for freedom, maybe a flight from danger, or is it somehow both?
Often both, I think.
Today we're doing a deep dive into the early, pretty tumultuous chapters of Mark Twain's classic, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to look at these moments through a unique lens. A play called Huck and Jim Escape.
Right, which gives it a different kind of immediacy.
Exactly. Our mission here is to really uncover the specific pressures forcing a young boy, Huck, and an enslaved man, Jim, to just abandon everything.
How they meet, how their paths cross.
And the ingenious, sometimes pretty desperate things they do just to survive.
And to really get the gravity of it all, you have to picture the scene. We're talking about a rural community, Mississippi River, 1830s.
Yeah.
Slavery was just a brutal fact of life in the southern states then. So the stakes for freedom, especially, for Jim, were incredibly high.
And seeing it as a play really does kind of amplify that constant threat they're under right from the start. Okay, so let's start with Huck Finn. You might remember him from Tom Sawyer. Motherless, abandoned by his alcoholic dad, but he'd been taken in by the widow Douglas. She was kind, tried to send him to school, civilize him. Right. So why would Huck, he's only like 13 or 14, why would he want to run away from what sounds like a relatively stable home?
Well, what's really interesting is his first escape isn't really from the widow. It's from his own father, Pap.
Ah, Pap.
Yeah, Pap just shows up again. He's this violent alcoholic drifter, and he literally kidnaps Huck, forcibly takes him.
Wow.
Locks him in this little cabin way out by the river, and Pap is furious that Huck's learned to read.
Right, the literacy thing.
Exactly. And he's obsessed with this gold Huck supposedly had.
Oh, the gold he gave the judge.
The very gold he naively signed over to Judge Thatcher for just $1.
Yeah.
Pap doesn't know or care. He wants it. He even sleeps with the cabin keys under his pillow.
So Huck is basically a prisoner.
Totally. It's not just being kept from school. It's a terrifying situation.
Yeah. What's strange is the text mentions that at first, Huck doesn't entirely hate it.
Well, parts of it.
Yeah, like no school, fishing, swimming. That freedom appeals to him.
True, there's that element.
Yeah.
But that changes really fast.
What's the turning point? What makes him decide he has to get out?
It's the abuse.
Yeah.
Pap starts beating him, often, violently,
Oh.
threatening his life. It's that constant terror. That's what makes Huck realize escape isn't a choice. It's a necessity.
And how does he do it? It's pretty clever, right?
Incredibly resourceful. He finds an old saw, or maybe a knife in the play's version, and starts cutting a hole in the cabin wall, painstakingly.
Well, Peck's away.
Yeah, when Pap leaves. He finishes the hole, gets out, but he doesn't just run.
Right, the staged murder scene.
Exactly. He makes this huge mess, uses pig's blood, drags stuff around to make it look like robbers broke in and killed him.
Why go to all that trouble?
But it's brilliant, really. He figures if Pap thinks he's dead, Pap won't come looking for him. He's terrified. Pap will hunt him down and kill him for real.
Desperate times.
Absolutely. Then he finds a canoe and just paddles away down the river.
So he manages this incredible escape. He's exhausted, alone on the river, and then...
A few hours later, resting up, he hears noises. Someone else is hiding out there in the woods.
And it's Jim.
It's Jim. And Jim's first reaction, pure terror.
Because he thinks Huck's a ghost.
Exactly. Everyone back home thinks Huck is dead, murdered in that cabin. Seeing Huck must have been terrifying.
Which raises the question, why is Jim out there hiding too? What forced him to run?
Jim's situation is, well, arguably even more desperate. He tells Huck he overheard the widow Douglas talking about selling him.
Selling him.
For $800. Down the river, likely to a much harsher situation. For Jim, escaping isn't just about avoiding the widow. It's about rejecting slavery itself.
He just didn't want to be sold.
He didn't want to be property. He wanted freedom, so he ran. Swam across the river, an immense act of courage.
And now, if Huck's dead, Jim's the obvious suspect for the murder.
Precisely. So he's running from being sold and potentially from being accused of killing Huck.
Yeah. It's amazing, though. Huck finds out Jim's a runaway slave, which is illegal, dangerous.
Highly illegal. Helping him is a crime.
But Huck barely hesitates. He basically says, "You've been good to me, Jim. I like you. I don't care if it's illegal." It's this immediate connection. Is it just because they're both in trouble, or is something deeper happening right away?
I think it starts with mutual desperation, absolutely.
Yeah.
Two runaways finding each other, but it quickly becomes more. It's like their shared vulnerability breaks down those societal rules right then and there.
Like kind of radical empathy, maybe?
You could say that.
Yeah.
They decide to stick together They explore a bit, find this washed-out cabin.
Oh, with the dead man inside?
Yes, which Jim very pointedly stops Huck from looking at, protecting him.
Which turns out to be, well, significant later, but they find money there too.
$8, which is a lot for them. And Huck immediately thinks, great, supplies, let's go to town.
But Jim can't go.
No way. Far too dangerous. People are looking for him. He'd be recognized instantly.
So the disguise plan. Huck has to go.
Right. And Jim gives him advice on how to pass as a girl.
What kind of advice?
Oh, well, it's wonderfully practical. How girls thread needles, keeping their knees together, how they throw, how they catch things in their lap. Stuff Huck wouldn't think of.
Shows Jim's pretty observant.
Very. And Huck's practice voice.
Hello, my name is Sarah, and I like puppies.
It's just classic. That mix of deadly seriousness and, well, absurdity. You can just picture it on stage.
So Huck puts on a skirt, wraps his head, tries to look like a girl named Sarah Williams.
Bravely walks up to this house on the edge of town, hopes the woman inside is new, won't know him.
Makes up a story about a sick mother visiting an uncle.
Abner Moore, yeah. Tries to play the part.
But what does he find out from this woman? It's pretty terrifying news, isn't it?
Absolutely chilling. The woman, Judith Loftus, she's new, but she's heard all the gossip.
Uh-oh.
First, she says, folks suspected Pap Finn killed Huck. Maybe for that $6,000 reward people thought Huck had.
Okay, that makes sense for Pap.
But then she says, others have a different idea. Since the widow's slave, Jim, disappeared the same day Huck was supposedly killed.
They think Jim did it.
They think Jim killed Huck. And there's a reward out for Jim, too.
How much?
$300. And worse. Her husband is out right now with a gun, planning to search Jackson's Island, where they suspect Jim might be hiding.
Where Huck and Jim are hiding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The danger just went from bad to critical immediate. They are actively being hunted.
So this news must just cement their alliance, right? They absolutely need each other now.
Oh, completely. It's life or death. Their fates are tied. There's no going back for either of them.
But Huck gets caught, doesn't he? The disguise fails.
Almost immediately. The woman is sharp. She tests him, tossing something for him to catch, asking him to thread a needle.
And he does it like a boy.
Totally. She calls him out. Child, I know you're a boy. I may be old, but I'm not blind. Have you run away from home?
What does Huck do?
Panics. Forgets his Sarah voice entirely. Stutters, yes. No. Then tries to switch back. It's a complete disaster.
He must realize the danger is right there.
Instantly. He knows her husband is coming.
Yeah.
He makes an excuse, bolts out of there, runs back to the island as fast as he can.
To warn Jim.
Yells for Jim. They grab the canoe and just start rowing for their lives down the river, escaping again just ahead of the search party.
Wow. What an opening. It really sets the stage. And you can see Twain drawing on his own Mississippi River childhood in Hannibal.
Absolutely. That authenticity, the river, the society, the danger, it's all baked in. Huckleberry Finn is often called one of the great American novels for a reason.
And it feels like a major theme is already emerging here, right from these first chaotic scenes.
Definitely. This immediate bond between Huck and Jim, born from shared danger, shared vulnerability.
Yeah.
It cuts right through the social rules, the racism, the laws of the time.
It's built on something more fundamental.
It seems so. Necessity, yes, but also this growing trust, this maybe affection. It points towards what some sources suggest is the core. Love, affection, trust, and faith are the qualities on which true friendship is built, even in the most unlikely, dangerous circumstances.
So, just to recap these opening moments, We've got Huck running from terrible violence from his father, Jim running from the brutality and dehumanization of slavery.
Two separate acts of desperation.
That suddenly intertwines, and they form this instant, almost instinctive alliance based on meeting each other and maybe, just maybe, starting to trust each other.
And seeing it through the lens of a play just heightens that drama, that constant feeling of being pursued. It really underscores their resilience and their quick thinking.
It's a powerful story of how shared hardship can just strip away all the external stuff and reveal that basic human connection.
They're immediately pushed outside society, operating by their own rules, because society's rules mean danger or death for them.
Which leads to a final thought for you, our listener. How does being forced to live outside the lines, as well as outlaws, essentially, how does that start to fundamentally change Huck and Jim? What new kinds of freedom, what new ideas about loyalty do they start to forge for themselves out there on the river?